The film starts in Toronto, Canada with Jamie, a fashion and entertainment photographer, enjoying a bath with her boyfriend. However, it turns out to be a memory, and her boyfriend is now missing. Jamie struggles to focus on her work due to her personal issues. She tries to manage her stress with various methods, but her preferred choice, a type of medication called benzos, doesn't seem to help much. She begins to experience flashbacks of a traumatic event from her childhood when she found her mother lifeless in a bathtub. Adding to her distress, she keeps seeing Isaac, presumably her missing boyfriend, appearing at random places and then disappearing. She believes she might be hallucinating. She tells her co-worker, Mark, that she has tried to contact Isaac in every possible way, but to no avail. In the meantime, a delivery man brings a gift from a liquor company along with an invitation to a club. Her co-workers encourage her to attend the event. However, at the club, she feels unwell due to the medication and ends up vomiting, prompting her to leave and return home. Jamie reaches out to Detective Roberts, who is working on her boyfriend's case. She's worried that the posters aren't helping, but the detective reassures her that they're doing everything they can and that her case is their top priority. He asks her to contact him if she recalls anything new about the night in question. Later, while Jamie is sitting on her couch, she sees Isaac. It seems to be him, or at least some version of him. Whether it's a hallucination or not, Isaac starts to appear to her alone, even though she's been chasing after him and calling his name over and over. Isaac meets her and tells her to stop following him. He talks about his research, his efforts to cross over to another dimension, and shows her a futuristic GPS on his wristband. He tells her that for them to be together, she needs to go on the Azores vacation they had planned before he vanished. He also mentions that their two worlds are linked by water. This is a problem for Jamie, as she has a fear of water due to past traumas. Jamie saw him running towards the water. Despite her screams for help, she couldn't find anyone to assist her and felt stuck. She tried to contact Detective Roberts to report that she had seen him near his house, but her attempts were unsuccessful. Now, Jamie is on a mission to find Isaac, who has been elusive. She decides to go on a trip to the Azores, which was planned earlier. She hopes to find clues there that could help her locate Isaac. When she gets home, she sees a picture. The story alternates between the present and flashbacks. These flashbacks provide a backstory about how Jamie and Isaac met for the first time 5 years ago. They also give insights into their relationship and Isaac's career as a quantum physicist in 2012. Isaac is a cosmologist who is fascinated by timelines and parallel worlds. His team's work on proving the existence of parallel universes has been successful. Jamie was present during the media coverage of the conference where this was announced. Isaac requested Jamie to plan for his band's upcoming event. However, their conversation was interrupted by his co-worker for an interview. After the interview, they spent time together discussing their work and Isaac's research. They agreed to meet again soon. Jamie is now in the investigation room. Detective Roberts informs her that they found Isaac dead that morning. The pathology report indicates that he died a week ago, which aligns with the day she reported him missing. Despite the confirmation from his family, Jamie finds it hard to believe that Isaac is dead. As it turns out, Jamie is now a suspect, and she must prepare to defend herself. A few days later, Mark visits her apartment out of concern. He finds her asleep. After she wakes up, takes a shower, and has breakfast, Jamie expresses regret for missing Isaac's funeral. Mark had forgotten to cancel their planned trip. In an unexpected turn of events, Mark kisses her and then leaves her apartment. As Jamie holds a mug, she recalls memories of Isaac. He had been explaining his research and their planned trip. He told her about a place with a beach at the bottom of a cliff, which made Jamie uncomfortable. Back in the present, she decides to go on the trip. She calls Mark, asking him not to cancel the ticket and to prepare for the trip. Jamie decides to visit Isaac's house. Finding the door locks broken, she enters through the back gate. The memories within the house overwhelm her, causing her to scream. She collects some of Isaac's documents and leaves. Jamie begins to piece things together. While on a call with Mark, she spots someone who looks like Isaac. After a closer look, she realizes it's not him. The man apologizes and invites her to a music event at his bar that night. Jamie continues her search, looking at different spots on a map and exploring beach sides. When she tries to start her car, the engine fails. Memories flood back, revealing an argument about moving to the Azores. It was a great opportunity for Isaac's job, but not for Jamie. They had agreed to maintain a long-distance relationship across oceans. In her memory, she sees herself and Isaac in the distance. As she tries to approach, they both vanish. Jamie calls Renata, Isaac's colleague, but she abruptly ends the call. because she's not alone. Jamie then goes to a bar and meets a man she had seen before. As he talks about the music, he shares his past, revealing that he lost his daughter and sometimes sees her ghost. When Jamie returns to her room, she receives a call from the hospital about maternity. During a video call with Mark, she notices that the road maps have been rearranged. She suspects that Isaac did this to guide her. The next day, while on a bridge, she hears a story about the oceans. When she turns around, she sees Isaac driving away, and it's as if she's looking at her own reflection. Renata calls her, informing her that she's in the Azores. During their conversation, it becomes clear that Renata is there just for the notebook, and she ends up insulting Jamie. That night, Jamie can't sleep and decides to hide the notebook. In her vision, Isaac warns her not to trust anyone. After feeling sick in the morning, she calls Detective Roberts and learns that her suspicions were correct. Isaac's death was not an accident. Roberts asks her about the investors in Isaac's project and tells her to wait for an hour. While talking, Jamie scratches the table and sees herself with Isaac at the Pure table. Before everything reverts back to normal, Jamie resumes her investigation. Meanwhile, in Toronto, Roberts visits Mark to find out why both of them are in the Azores. During this time, Jamie receives a phone call. Mark tries to look at her notebook, but she leaves in a hurry because her daughter is unwell. Renata arrives and notices the frames and maps. She cooks for Jamie, and they have a lengthy discussion about the project and Jamie's life. Mark calls Jamie and tells her everything. Jamie gives Renata the notebook after removing some pages. After Renata leaves, Jamie goes to a bar, orders 2 meals and a wine, and then goes to a nearby fountain pond. She cries out, longing to see Isaac again and apologizing. She then goes to the beach, realizes that she forgot the map, and leaves a mark. As she lies on her back, she recalls the last day she and Isaac argued about his job-related trip. The argument escalates, and she yells at him, revealing that she is pregnant. Isaac is unwilling to have the baby because of medical reasons. Despite his complaints, she assures him that she will take care of the baby alone. She points out that he can't even make dinner without burning frozen lasagnas. In her anger, she throws the food he brought against the wall. Offended, Isaac leaves. When she apologizes, she sees Isaac beside her. He tells her that he needs to take her with him and that he will send the exact coordinates because there are many parallel universes. From her past memories, she vaguely recalls a car accident involving a bike. Jamie pleads with Isaac not to leave. He explains that his presence here is insignificant compared to his research. He tells her that his work could earn him a Nobel Prize if she follows his instructions and joins him. Finally, Isaac hands her a device similar to a GPS and runs into the water. When Jamie tries to follow him, Renata stops her. She brings Jamie back and shows her footage proving that Isaac wasn't there. Renata reveals that it would have been problematic if she hadn't stopped Jamie and assures her that she doesn't trust the situation. Despite this, Jamie remains committed to her belief. The next day, she receives a call from Detective Roberts about a break-in at Isaac's house. Jamie explains that she might not be the problem anymore. Roberts, noticing that Jamie is about to make a potentially harmful decision, reveals everything he knows about her, her mother, and the significance of her pregnancy. Upon hearing this, Jamie ends the call. Back at her house, Jamie lies in bed clutching a photograph of her mother. She expresses her remorse for not being the same kind of mother her own mother was, and memories of their time together flood her mind. She recalls her childhood experiences and reminisces about various moments. The following day, Jamie embarks on a journey. She drives along and follows the instructions given to her, eventually arriving at a boat. Following the instructions she received, Jamie takes the boat out into the vast expanse of the ocean. Once she reaches a suitable spot, she drops the anchor into the water. As she gazes into the distance, a plethora of memories engulf her thoughts. It becomes apparent that the time has come to retrieve something, perhaps based on a GPS-like device on her arm. Jamie takes a deep breath and submerges herself beneath the water's surface. There, in the depths, she envisions meeting someone named Isaac. However, abruptly, a multitude of memories from her childhood and a specific night begin to flash before her eyes. She recalls the last night she spent with Isaac, the arguments they had, her attempts to clean the wall, and her pursuit of him as he rode his bike, which ultimately resulted in a crash. These memories play over and over in her mind. Thankfully, amidst this turmoil, Jamie manages to recall positive memories from her childhood and the anticipation of her upcoming baby. These thoughts awaken her consciousness, prompting her to free herself from the burden of an anchor tied to her leg. She swims back to the safety of the beach. From a distance, the owner of a nearby bar observes Jamie's ordeal and rushes to her aid. He helps her out of the water and tries to console her by reminding her of his own daughter, perhaps aiming to ease her guilt for not committing her life to him. On the following day, Jamie made her way to meet Renata, who she intended to share all the information she had gathered and recount the events of that crucial night. Jamie explained everything she knew, providing details about various aspects of the situation. She handed over the missing page from the notebook, which held important clues, and reminded Renata of their plan to meet again after constructing the device that the person they were pursuing had been working on. The device, which was mentioned in the missing page, was crucial to their mission of stopping him. After the meeting with Renata, Jamie proceeded to the fountain pond. It's unclear what her exact purpose or intention was at the pond, but she spent some time there before eventually returning to her room. Upon entering her room, Jamie noticed something amiss. There was a note left on the table, but the distinct mark that had been present on the table before was now absent. This discovery puzzled her, leaving her with unanswered questions. Despite the confusion and the peculiar circumstances, Jamie ultimately decided to leave the house at that point. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.